Hello everyone, my balance is currently 18k, and in this video I want to increase it to 20k, so I need to raise $2,000. It's not a small amount, but I have a special strategy for quickly increasing the balance. So if you want to learn how to raise your balance as quickly as possible, connect this tool and make sure to watch this video until the end. As usual, I would like to remind everyone that the link to Pocket Option with a 50% bonus on deposits will be in the description below the video. At the very beginning, we need to find a suitable asset. A suitable asset will be one where there is a strong trend. How can we understand that the trend is strong? The moving averages should clearly trend downwards or upwards, as in my case. This indicates a stable trend. If the moving averages are stagnant like this, we change the asset. Next, when the candles approach one of the moving averages, we place the main trade in the direction of the trend at the beginning of a new candle. If the trade goes into the negative at the end and the candle changes color, we place a follow-up trade down based on the color of the candle. If it turns out that the chase is in the negative and the candle has changed color again, we place the last chase based on the color of this candle for an upward movement. In other words, when the price approaches the lines, we always enter in their direction, and then in the case of a losing trade, we follow the price. If all conditions are met, it almost never results in more than 2 retrace. By the way, the strength of the trend will influence this, so it's better to find assets where the price moves without stagnation, clearly either up or down, like here, for example. Recently, it has been noticeable that the candles were moving clearly downward without stagnating, followed by a similarly clear pullback to the sliding, and accordingly, since the candle touched the lower sliding, a trade can be made for a decline. The base is in the negative, the catch-up is in the positive, and the losses have been recovered. To fully understand, I will explain the logic behind this tactic. The asset's sliding indicators were clearly pointing downwards, indicating a strong trend, which is exactly what we need. Then the price touched one of the lines, and I entered the main trade in the direction of the trend. The base went into the negative, a green candle appeared, and accordingly, the follow-up was for an upward movement. Here we have an upward trend. The price has dropped to its lowest point, near the lowest moving average, which means there is a great potential for an increase. The candle is about to close, and from here, I will enter the trade. The base was again in the negative, but the catch was in the positive. Naturally, I was also in the positive. The price moved in large ranges, but the moving averages still indicated a strong trend. From the very bottom, I entered a buy position. In the end, the candle changed color, so based on the color, I placed a catch on a sell position and recovered my losses. The out USD asset is perfectly aligned for an upward movement. It is uncertain whether there will be a pullback or a trend reversal, but the initial trade is always based on the lines in the overall direction. Here, no martingale was needed. Despite such a strong trend, the price retraced and resumed its upward movement from my entry point. Let's move on. There are few suitable assets. I found one that is somewhat okay, although it is also risky since the price was previously in a sideways movement. Well, there are literally 9 seconds left until the end of the candle. The moving averages are generally pointing down, and the candles have already approached the moving average, so from here, one can enter for a downward trade. And it goes back into profit. I will explain the entry point. For most, it should already be clear that the moving indicators were going down, indicating a downward trend. Along with this, the candles were near the moving averages, after which I entered a trade for a decline. But this asset was dangerous because the price had previously moved sideways, and at the moment I entered, the movement was also inactive, which significantly increased the risk. So ideally, it's better to avoid such situations. Again out USD, the trend was very strong, it rose high. The reason I said is that, as we can see at the end, there are already attempts at a decline, and the trend may change. In any case, there has been a lot of activity, so there will either be an increase or a sharp decline. Each of these movements will be easy to catch. I'm entering a trade. The basis goes into profit, even though it may seem that the price is already at its peak, which is why it is important to always follow the trend first. Here we have a generally suitable asset. The indicator lines are clearly going down, indicating a strong downward trend. There was one pullback in the form of a sideways movement, but then the price started to decline actively. Now, with this kind of impulse candle, it has approached one of the lines, so I will enter a short position. The last catch at 625 goes into profit and covers all losses. Here, it really managed to demonstrate this tactic in full. At first, as you saw, I entered a short position from the line, a green candle appeared, and I entered a long position. Then the candle changed color again, and I entered a last position following it on the downside. As a result, the price resumed the trend, and I ended up in profit. I already have an additional $1,000 in my balance. Everything is great, but I'm progressing a bit slowly, so now I'm thinking of taking a risk and trying to finish the second part with this one situation. I already have an entry point. I will invest $400, and depending on the situation, I will enter in parts, but for now, I will make the main entry. The perfect ending. The price on the impulse resumed the trend, and the catch confidently goes into profit. I believe the balance came out to exactly $2,000 because I started with $1,800. Now let's take a look at the trades and see what the results are. There were many trades, more than 10, and by the way, there were significantly fewer losses. As you can see, there were no more than 2 losses in a row. In the last situation, for those who may not have understood, instead of 800, I divided the amount into 2 parts. I did this so that in case something went wrong, I wouldn't lose the entire amount. So, as you saw, the main position went into profit, and if I had entered the trade with 800, I wouldn't have needed to add more. But let's agree, anything can happen, and just as easily the price could have dropped and all 800 would have gone into the negative. So I entered one half, then saw a clear increase and entered with another half. Unfortunately, the last one went into the negative, but I managed to bring it to profit just the same, according to the strategy. This is the overall strategy. I believe it is the best of the best for maximizing the rapid increase of your balance, and it is not complicated at all, with no analyses or calculations required. All you need to do is find a suitable situation and make trades according to conditions that are understandable even to school children. And I will conclude here. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it and hit the bell so you don't miss new releases. Also, if you have something to share or need help, leave your comments under the video. The link with a 50% bonus on the deposit will be in the description. To join my Telegram channel, where I conduct joint testing with participants, write "I want" in the VK blog to join the team. Wishing everyone successful trades. Goodbye.